go for it, shall we?
I already hit record. We've been live.
Oh, there we go.
No pressure.
Not at all.
Good morning, good evening, good night. And this week, Paul is back to host this week's episode of Footballers Podcast.
Here we are. Bit of a late one for us here in the UK, but we're all raring to go-ish. I'm recovering from a bit of a bug, but, you know.
EA's been recovering from bugs for the last decade to deal with it.
I wouldn't know if I would call it recovering.
Yeah, they're managing it. But we've got myself, Right Foot, Matt, Hunter, and Jake tonight. How are we all doing, boys? Jake?
Doing good, man. Like, really excited about Hullet and where the community's at with it. I think it kind of sparked a lot of interest in the game. I don't really care about if you complete him or not, but I think it's really fun thing to just see the community discuss him, and I think it caused a ton of controversy and debate, and just a whole different kind of grind. I just think so many people have him for a 5 million coin SBC that it's crazy.
It is wild that so many people have already got him and so many people are completing him, but we'll dig into that one in a minute. How are you, Hunter?
I'm good. And we definitely need to dig into these Evos because, for obvious reasons, but my team has gone from barely competitive to behind the curve to extremely competitive, almost, I would even dare say, meta at this point, and I still have 11 MLS players on my team.
Yeah, that's so cool. Do you know what I mean? Like
it's a great feeling beating these Hullet squads.
Well, it's nice to be competitive with your ultimate team.
Can you flash your team, Hunter?
Yeah, I'll pull it up while you guys talk.
How are you doing, Matt?
Generally doing fine, although I've just come off the back of about a 2-hour session of rush trying to complete an objective where I have to win 3 games, only conceding 1 or 0 goals. And because you're playing with fucking turnips, that's extremely hard to do. So I hate myself right now, generally speaking.
I love hearing about Matt's
my weekly rush rant.
Rush escapades. That should be an episode in itself.
I was thinking of starting a YouTube channel, like a Rush Tard channel, where I just like absolutely shame the fuck out of people.
It would be popular.
It's got legs.
I think people would listen to it.
I think they would, yeah. I think people would watch it while playing Rush.
Yeah.
So, talk us through this team, Hunter.
All right, so the striker is kind of a bit of a Frankenstein, but this Christian Ramirez card for Columbus Crew, he's 6'2". His strength attribute is, let's see, he's got 93 aggression, 93 strength, 89 stamina, 86 jumping, but he's also got 90 shooting, 87 passing, 94 dribbling, 99 composure, mind you, and 92 reactions, 99 ball control, 92 dribbling, 89 balance, 85 agility, which is good for a big guy. He's super strong. You can't get him off the ball. And the cams are where the magic happens because all 3 of these cams are lightning quick. They all have technical plus, and they can all dribble extremely well. It's really hard to get the ball off these little sticky, short, stocky, agile players. Matt, you talk about it all the time, how annoying it is to play against. So,
yeah, they're the ones who, even when you manage to put a foot in, they just reanimate much faster than your defenders and just win it back a lot. And speaking of Ricky Puig, who
Dang, that Acosta's got nice stats, actually.
Yeah, I'm telling you. 90 pace, 87 shooting, 90 passing, 90 dribbling, 90 defending, 86 physical for a cam.
Do you know what? That's like having a Kante.
Yeah, but that can shoot.
Who can shoot and dribble just like lurking around the edge of the box. And
5-star Kante.
I know for a fact that he's going to lose the ball and immediately just grab it back and score the most ridiculous, sticky, nasty goals.
Yeah. A lot of rebound goals been happening over here.
Yeah, this team is just basically annoyance, like in its purest form by the looks of it.
I'm getting a lot of quits. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what?
I think it's one thing too, like if someone's building like a hyper competitive squad and it's got like the Hullet, Tourés, and Mbappes and you lose. But once you're losing to like a complete Evo team, I think it's honestly like another level of frustration where people are like, yep, this is annoying. I can't say he's got a like expensive team or he's got the most meta team. I'm just losing this game to this dude probably having fun. This sucks.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Basically.
I find I get less frustrated if somebody's using a team full of Evos and I'm like, do you know what? Because I'm thinking about that guy on the other end who's absolutely buzzing that he's smashing my team with his, I don't know, Portsmouth Evo team or whatever it is. But I think last year we were really like, well, for the people who wanted to sort of upgrade an Evo silver and bronze cards and random teams, were a bit like, man, Evo's out the one. You got one or two cards that were usable but never close to being competitive, where I think this year they've absolutely smashed it out the park and done something for everyone. You know, I think there literally is something for every type of player in these Evos, and they're not, you know, the price of them, we can discuss that, but I think even if you're just doing the free ones, you can put together a really nice team somewhere. Is Evo something you've used a lot, Jake, or what's your thing with Evos? Are you trying to use meta ones or your favourite players? What are you using?
Yeah, I initially started with like some USA guys, so I was trying to get Pulisic to be like the best card in the game at one point. But then for me too, like I get questions a lot on like just the meta cards too. So like no lie, I've done a huge mix of cards I like to anything. Like I have a Leao version Evo too, and he's about as meta as possible. But um, kind of what I like to look at and I guess like debate is just like how far I can take it, like an average card, or like how much of a difference it would make. Like if even with an Evo, if it's still behind the curve, I wouldn't use it in that scenario. But like if I can get a card that I like close to the power curve or in line with it, I would do it. So I don't know if that makes sense, but like if I look at the stats and the analysis and I just know like this card's still behind even with this 500k Evo, I wouldn't do the 500k Evo on him. But if I'm spending that amount of coins, I kind of view it like an SBC. I don't do points or anything like that. So for me, I'm like, okay, this needs to be like a pretty top tier card at that point. So whatever card I can make top tier, like I know that the new 500k attacker Evo came out, and that was really just it's crazy to me. Like the craziest thing to me is that Evo is literally getting people to buy cards for 3 to 5 million off the market and make them fully untradeable. That's nuts to think about. Because like right now, like I mean the card I'm talking about is 90 or 9 specifically. So it's Winter Wildcard, Ronaldo, it's the 90 version. You can make him one of the best cards in the game, attackers, and I do believe that to be true. But that's as of right now before Team of the Season, and you make it untradeable. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't think people are that foot rich where they can spend 5 million coins and have a card they'll never get back or change again in their team. I just think that's really good business orientation from EA, and I think it's a big mistake to do as a player. Like, even though right now it looks like, yeah, that's an S tier attacker, we see how fast the power curve moves this year. So I think that's kind of the craziest thing I've seen with this evolution is that people are losing tons of coins. I mean, we saw like Foot Birthdays half in value this week. Cards dropped 300, 500, 750k. Like people are just getting obliterated, right? Like just because people are putting all their coins into that Evo, and it's just making them drop an attacker and making them really broke. And I think between that and Hullet, EA are kind of doing this pre-team of the season. Like they're kind of starting their ramp up period to say like, we want clubs broke, so hopefully we can get you to buy some points. And I also think they're in the time of the year where they know they're not going to get huge point expenditure, so they're dropping these 1k FIFA point Evos, and I'm guaranteed this one was done in mass. Like this is definitely how they made their most money this month, and it's not even close as this Evo.
Yeah,
They got me to spend.
They got I would honestly assume like 25 to 50% of all players bought that with points. I'm not kidding.
Yeah. I used my coins until I just ran out of coins, so I had to buy FIFA points.
Well, the ratio makes sense to do the FIFA points. It's just like, those are the knick-knack add-on they're going to do, I think, in the coming years is honestly like a 1K unstoppable Evo that you feel like you have to do once a month. And then you're doing 1K every single month of the year, and I do think they can get people to do that as like a tic tac.
Yeah, and that opens the door, doesn't it? For you're bringing people in there who might have never gone in and bought FIFA points ever before. Now you've got a whole new customer base that you're bringing in who've got 500 FIFA points lying around in the store that they're like, a lot of people won't just think, oh, I'll save that for the next Evo. They'll just go to the store and buy a pack with it. But going back to the amount of coins that were taken off the market this weekend, like you say, Jake, some cards dropped. I had Kenny Dalglish's FUT birthday that I'd been using, and I just listed him up 10 minutes before content because I'd finished playing with him, and that dropped. I was like,
You got
I
lucky.
am so lucky that I listed mine 10 minutes before everybody else who have started panic selling theirs at 6 o'clock, and I managed to get out at 2 mil. And he dropped down to like 1.45, I think, which is, he
Jeez,
were
that's
down a
crazy.
mil. He were down a mil on what, probably just over a mil on what I'd paid. But I was saying, I feel so bad for people who've gone out and thought, this FUT birthday card looks phenomenal. I'm going to spend all my coins on it, and then pop, it's gone. And then they've had to go find coins for the Evo. But this is going to be the next big thing, in it, where lightning rounds come and a small percentage of the people go in there and buy those. This is now the place where they're going to make a lot of money from. But it baffles me how many people have put tradable cards in. It really does. I'm thinking, even if you've bought a 500 coin card, for a lot of people, that's a 500k card. That's a lot of coins just to be
I was thinking 500 coins. Come on, Paul.
throwing away. Do you know what I mean? It's just gone forever. Nobody's ever seen that ever
I think
again.
people are going to regret that, though, down the line.
Oh, people get caught up in the hype of this. They go on Twitter, they see all these cards. They're like, shit, I haven't got that card in my club.
Unless they're just a shit-hot trader. I feel like this step of evolutions was similar to like Team of the Season or Team of the Year. We took just another leg up, right? We got these super high-powered Evos, and I think we just took another leg because it gave you a 94 rated striker, which is ridiculous at this stage.
Yeah, it is really team of the season level-ish. I mean, it's just advanced of where the curve is.
Yeah. Who you doing, Matt, for this one?
I haven't done one yet. I'm going to sit on it and make a sort of last-minute decision, see if any cards that will go into it hit the market that might take my interest. It's going to be something like off the beaten track, though. I'm not doing like silly meta stuff. If I do it, it's going to be something a little bit funky, a little bit different.
Didn't you mention De Ketelaere?
Yes, that was probably my strongest candidate so far.
That's
So
cool.
I've got a Thunderstruck, Evo'd twice, De Ketelaere. That will then be a cam striker, right winger and left winger, which would be very useful. And for such a tall player, he's a very silky dribbler already. Like, moves a lot more nimble and quicker than you would expect. So if I was to do any of my in-club cards right now, that would be the one. But I'll wait and do it last minute, I think, and see what happens.
Who are you doing, Hunter?
I thought I talked about it earlier. Christian Ramirez.
Oh, you did, yeah. You
Yeah,
did.
I'm not
sorry.
finished with him yet, but he's almost done.
Yeah. And Jake, who's your guy?
Jake muted. He is.
Honestly, I haven't fully picked one. I have actually got the opportunity to try Suarez. And he was really, really, really good. Like, his finishing is like honestly a next level style card, which is cool because he's an SBC, so that's available to anyone really. His finishing was like S tier. I'm talking about, like, I've only seen a few cards in the game finish like that. His animations are really quick, kind of glitchy like. So I got to try that card. That's like the nice thing is, like, usually you can try a few before I pick one. But I'm really interested in that Isaac, our Dalglish's normal card. I really am going for the combo of low driven finesse, and quick step. Like I would really like that on the attacker. So that's like kind of my stipulation with this one. I think that combo is insanely good. I think low driven um kind of might be like soft patched or touched up a little bit. It's pretty OP. It's like the best way to finish right now in my opinion in the especially like anywhere in the box. But yep, that's
And
kind of
it's
what I'm looking at.
It's extremely easy to do too, which is kind of a problem, I think.
Yeah, I think people do it by accident or used to.
Yeah.
I looked it up. I think it's 45% or less power auto triggers the driven plus, low driven plus.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like the thing you should be aiming to get out of this Evo. I know like Edo has a really good one too, so I always just keep my eyes on like that PS Plus combo specifically, and then the name behind the combo doesn't matter as much to me,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm really struggling with mine because I've got a Bradford City card, Andy Cook, that I've had for he's 90 rated. He's got Finesse Plus already and Rapid Plus, and I really want to do him because it makes the card look phenomenal. But I also want a card with. Do you know what I mean? I'm really stuck because I do want Finesse Plus, Quick Step, and Low Driven. I did just pack Di Natale before we did the pod from the hero pick, and he looks real nice.
Is that the 89 one? The wild
Yes.
card one? Yeah, that
the winter
card's
wild
insane in
card
there.
one. So that's like, and Dalglish looks amazing as well, but I think I'm going to end up doing Andy Cook, even though he's not going to get the desired playstyle plus. But you know, I score lots of finesse shots, so I'm sure I'll be fine. But that's one of the good things about this Evo. There's so many options, so everybody can look and go, "Oh, that's my favourite card." It's a tough choice for a lot of people. Going into this low driven plus, I think it were really low driven ones were really powerful one before we got the update, and now it seems like these ones with the playstyle plus just hit it with so much power, and like people scoring from edge of the box and just smashing them in. Have you been using it much, Hunter?
Yeah, but I haven't used the playstyle plus. I've just been using one with just the regular playstyle. And I've even had guys move the goal, or maybe it was, I can't remember. I have to go back and look. It was one of them. I can't remember. There's so many playstyles floating around on my cards. But they would move the keeper to the near post, and I was still doing it just to see, and it was still going in. Like Messi, I don't even think he has the trait, but I was still scoring him left and right.
Yeah, I think that they are overpowered. They are really good. Even sort of just
Trying to see who I was using.
with random cards. I think the higher the shot power and finishing seems to improve it, but they just slide under keeper sometimes. Matt, have you done any of these SBCs with the new ones yet?
Not yet, no.
No.
I'm still sitting on pages and pages of the fodder in my untradeable storage. Like, I'm just ready to do something. And I don't think Hullet's going to be the one, to be honest. It just doesn't excite me. Given that I packed Thunderstruck Hullet in my level 40 player pick. And it's a better card, obviously, to go for this new one, but not enough to have a second version of an already very similar card. So I'll be skipping that one this time and waiting for the next big one, whatever that happens to be.
Hopefully for Team 2 we get something similar. I think that's kind of a good segue. I did want to just mention on Evils, like for the last thing, is because people are getting so burned on their team and stuff, like I wanted to just talk about, like for me, what I've noticed and how I've made like a lot of coins off Evos is just like, if you can stay one rating ahead for them. So right now we're on 89 rated Evils, right? That's kind of like the requirement. I know some 90 cards fit this specific evolution, but we've been on 89. So it's like we had people in Discord and people that I knew that loaded up on VVD. What happened to his price? He doubled, right? And that was pretty self-explanatory. Like once VVD hit something, he was gonna do really well. Rush Ronaldo, he went up like 100K for his Evo, and his 88 card was already extinct, and his 87. So all you need is a Ronaldo Evo to make his versions extinct. So stocking up on cards like that and icons right now, like we recommended that people like threw icons in their club, like the Edos, like Bucha, Dalglish, Cantona. I think he's still cheap, but like right now, guys, if you want to make coins off evolutions, I honestly would say it's not even that difficult. Just right now, start stocking meta 90 rated cards, right? They're not used in mass right now, and they're going to be used coming in the next month. But if you start entering them really cheap, all it takes is them to fit one Evo, and they just absolutely boom. So whether it's getting 90 rated cards in your team or getting them in your club, you can kind of like make a good chunk of coins off those Evos to at least pay for them or pay for what you want to do. And it's pretty basic, right? You just go through, you can go sort by games played or sort by price, and you can keep risk really minimal. Like icons discard at like 65K, you can get them at like 70, 75K. So there's basically no risk if you do want to just get the coins back at some point. But honestly, it's allowed people to make like millions of coins with ease on them. Because when they rise, sometimes they're rising 100 to 300K per card, depending on what card they are. Heroes and icons especially. So that's just kind of like a little bit of a general tip for you guys watching. Like start stocking up on 90 rated cards in your club because they will boom.
Yeah, and I think we're at that stage now, or we have been for a while, where you see which cards are banging when certain Evos come. So it's finding those cards in it that have a 90 rated version that are going to move when those Evos come. Because like you say, some of the rises on these are absolutely insane. And you know, even if they're fit an Evo and it's not a banger, cards are still rising, even, you know, so it's definitely worth sort of planning ahead. And a lot of people now, they've got coins that they're just sat there doing nothing. They're not, people's teams are where they want them to be, so they've just got coins sat there doing nothing. So you might as well have them put into something. And it seems like they're the only safe thing on the market at the moment, that and fodder.
Pretty much.
Does anybody know if there's going to be a team 2 of Dream Chasers, by the way? Pompil asked that in the chat.
I think it was referenced that there'd be like a team 2. I thought that Romania said something about that, like maybe wait for team 2's big SBC. I think they were referencing, but I don't know if it's been fully confirmed.
You mean there's going to be a bigger SBC than Hullet?
I guess there's going to be a massive one, is what it appears like, or maybe they know that, like, ironically, Hullet will be used in a similar Evo to his SBC.
I can see Matt's just getting infuriated as we talk about it.
All right. So Matt's not doing Hullet. Are you Hunter or Paul? Are you guys doing?
No.
I am waiting. I've just done Yaya.
Yeah.
So my club was struggling a little bit, but we're starting to get some health back in the club now. So I probably will be doing it over the next few weeks. But I wanted to talk about this SBC because, like you were saying earlier, Jake, there's been some controversy. Lots of people saying this is absolutely outrageous. I'll go in there and give my opinion on it first. I think
I can't wait to hear Matt.
I know Matt's take already.
The public don't.
I think there's so many people out there whose club is full of 91s, 92s, 90s. The storage is absolutely rammed, and they've not done CR7, they've not done Yaya, they've probably been doing a Gamble SBC or two just because they've got to do something to get rid of some of this fodder. And Hullet's come, and they've been able to do it pretty much for free with stuff out of the club, and I think that's great for those people who wanted to do it. But also, it's one of those SBCs that you don't want everybody to have. So doing it cheap's just absolutely not even in the question. So giving something that people can grind towards over the next few weeks, I think, is an absolute an absolute win. When is somebody going to be able to get a card like this in the club?
About 30 days ago. That's when.
Which card's that?
The other Hullet.
He can't play CDM. He hasn't got rolls.
Good.
It's
Good
not.
job he can't play
it's
fucking
not-
CDM.
It's not. It's nothing close to that card. Do you know what I mean? It's not even comparable.
It's not, but I'm gonna interject now. It's time for me to lay down the fucking smack. Okay. As I said to you guys, when everyone knew this was coming before it came, but once it landed and it was like official, as like, this is the biggest fuck you to the community that I can remember EA doing for a very long time. And when I say community, I don't mean people who are as in tune into what's going on in Ultimate Team and play at the volume that we do. I'm talking about the Timmies who barely get a chance to play, who may have been halfway through doing the baby hull at SBC with 30 days to go, and then they drop another hullet. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, the amount of people they've probably burned doing this will cancel out any like goodwill it may have created by the people who fancied a bit of a grind or whatever. I think it's just very short-sighted. Another like desperation mood when they pulled the Zidane trick a couple months ago. It leaves a bitter taste in the mouth, put it that way. And these are cards that, whilst it's nice to have them for your experience, they definitely diminish the gameplay experience for the collective. The more of these type of cards that are on the pitch, the shittier the gameplay is. All they do is just bash into everybody, make it harder to pass through the channels, just stink up the gameplay. Like, it's really lame. Like, totally fucking lame to have cards like this being pushed not once but twice before Team of the Season, where we're going to get probably more cards of this nature and stink the game up even more. So
I'd be
yes,
mad
I'm
as
going
fuck
to
if
change
I was little Timmy.
my name from Mets to Timmy on Discord. Whoever said that, Pompel, thank you.
I just think if you're doing a Hull at SBC at this point of the game, the baby one, and it's not to do an Evo, to put him into an Evo in the future, they're two very different player bases, I think. I think if you're doing that Evo, you're either very casual and you're just ticking away in the background, just like, yeah, or you're doing it hoping that he's going to get an Evo at some point. It's just somewhere to put your fodder. I think there's a very...
It was poorly planned, badly executed.
At least wait until the other one's expired.
Well, I think
yeah,
when...
exactly, right? Why would you have two of the same elite player at the same time when has there ever been like a Hullet SBC twice?
Yeah,
It's not
in
elite,
one
though.
game
That base
cycle.
card's not elite. Like, that's not even close to an elite card now.
No,
like,
it would have been
But it was when it was
if
released.
it came out at the right
No,
time.
not even when it
was
came
a bad
out.
deal.
we
It
spoke
was a
about
good
it on this
card.
podcast when he came out, like, who's doing this apart from maybe putting an Evo? Like, he's
It was
not...
expensive, but it's still a very good card.
It came out at the wrong time. That and the Maldini one. Anyone who knew what they were doing shouldn't have gone near it. The problem is, as we see with people who log in and play Rush and don't even know how to do a ball roll, there's lots of people who don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they're going to do it because it's Hullet. They just assume, well, that's something you must do, right? Because of the impact that card generally has on the game. Yeah. And then just 30 days later, do another one. It's just like, come on, guys. There's
The
got to be
shouldn't
better
have
ways
released
to
it.
get people to drain the swamp than keep releasing like elite cards over again.
I think Matt has a great point. There is honestly not something that I was really thinking of when debating this, although it's definitely relevant. Like, it is trashy for those people that started them, and it's just really obscure to have two icon SBCs of the same player out at the same time too. That's definitely like unheard of and not normal. So, like Matt said, it kind of catches those people, I think, that are like, oh, Hullet's one of my favorite players of all time. Of course I'm doing that base, no matter what. Maybe he'll get Evo potential. And I do know of people that did that, like that were like, oh, potential Evos, or because he's my favorite player, I gotta do this Hullet. And then a few weeks later, you start seeing leaks already at the very least, if not in-game, and you're like, wait, what? I'm working or just completed this Hullet. So that, I don't think anyone can really debate that sucks and is kind of stupid for them to do. Like, They could have still made this another monster CDM, or just made the Yaya Toure basically this version of this card, making him buffed significantly, and they could have made that the 5 million coin card. But I think the controversial thing about this SBC is the price and the amount of people that are saying they're doing it out of club and that are completing it, honestly, because it's like, this is the same cost of SBCs that EA looked at a few years back and said, we can't release those SBCs. It's too much. It's too expensive. And granted, SBCs have grown and taken such a turn, and duplicate storage is here now, but the amount of people that have and are willing to complete this SBC is absurd. Like 92s, guys, doubled in price because there's so many 91 squads. So it tells me that that's not out of club, right? Like people are like, I did it out of club. I'm like, maybe you did, but 99% of people didn't, because 92s just doubled in price. So they're going to buy them and rip them off the market. So I just think my personal opinion on this SBC is I think it was super needed. I don't know if it needed to be Hullet, but my point is the cost was needed. And I think EA need to release a few, honestly, 5 to 10 million coin SBCs throughout the year. And I know it sounds absurd in price, but it's very evident people have storage to use and people don't want to do the trash SBCs anymore and are waiting for the big boys. This is what people have been waiting for. They want a card that makes their team, and honestly, evolutions have overpowered SBCs so bad this year that it was really relevant that people were just sitting on stuff waiting for quote-unquote the big one. And I honestly don't think it mattered that much who it was. Like if it was a Dalglish with 3 PS pluses and 99 pace or something, that's 5 million coins, he'd get completed. Or this Hullet, for example, or maybe you make the best right back Mycone in the game. I know it's a bad example because he got that special card, but people were just waiting for a top tier SBC, and I think this is what's needed a couple of times a year. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, and I think we used to get big prime icon SBCs, and it wasn't something you were just doing immediately. It took a while, unless you were going out and buying cards off the market to complete it, but we do need that, because who wants to just keep doing 2 and 3 gamble SBCs every week just to keep getting cards that you're like, I suppose I'll give it a try because I've packed it now, probably for the 3rd time in a month. But it creates some hype as well, doesn't it? You get a 5 million, 8 million coin SBC, you've something to grind for. You're doing all the objectives to try and get these extra cards, to get this stuff done.
I think when we're in an environment like we're in with Evos, where there's actually a benefit to holding on to cards that go way, way back, because you just don't know what's coming up in the future. To continue to rely on legacy cards as an alternative currency kind of goes against that. And that's kind of where we're at, right? We're not just sticking golds into this to redeem Hullet. We're trashing our club of any kind of colourful content we've picked up over the last few months, which then takes away your ability to do Evos, which will cost them money, by the way. So there's a balancing act between draining the fodder out of the economy and actually costing themselves revenue, because no one's got anything to Evo because they've stuck it all into a Hullet or whichever big SBC it is.
Oh yeah, there's certainly cards in my club which could probably go into a Hullet SBC, but there won't be, because I know at some point they're going to fit an Evo, and they're going to... I'm going to be crying, thinking last week I can't believe I put that card into an SBC. But yeah, I think we need more of these, don't we? And whether it's one big one or 3 or 4 big ones, like people only have a limited amount of, most people only have a limited amount of fodder or coins to do these. But has anyone seen any reviews on this Hullet? I've seen...
all I know is my Lobotka can smash the fuck out of him. So
Lobotka, he's been used loads of times, I imagine, in that Hullet SBC.
Yeah,
I think the consensus on Hullet, from what I understand, is he plays like a Hullet, and he should. But to my understanding, and from people that are much better than me at the game, at the least, they're saying there's just no way to justify that price tag on him. Like, he doesn't feel that special. Like, he doesn't feel like a 5 million coin card.
Yeah, I feel like people are more likely to say that now because of look at all the other cards we have in the game. You know, this card 3-4 years ago, if it came out at this point, he would be light years ahead of everyone else. But I just feel like there's so much variety and there's so many options out there that it makes it even more of a bad deal to spend that much on it. That's just my take.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you guys saw, but I asked the question on Twitter. I was like, what did you guys submit into this Hullet? And I'm
Saw
seeing
that.
like Team of the Year CR7s. I'm seeing
Yeah.
Brightons. I'm seeing. I'm not kidding. These guys are going to have such bad regrets this coming week or two once there's like 90 or 91
The Frieza Dan.
icons and
Diego.
Zidans and Maradona. Like, honestly, guys, it was crazy what some people were putting in.
I'll just stick
Degenerates.
Zidane in there, no problem.
I
Wouldn't miss
have
that
seen
guy.
that 90 Hullet rising today, so if there's an Evo on Friday that 90 Hullet fits into that gives a
Well,
card that's
People will
anywhere
be
close.
pissed if he's good.
Can you imagine? Yeah, they do a baby Hullet Evo that's better than this SBC.
Oh my goodness.
And they would too.
Oh
they
my
just
God.
they don't care. They're like,
Totally.
oh, we didn't tell you to do it.
Yeah,
Totally.
they-
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I was saying today, they are full pedal to the metal, no brakes at the moment. Like,
Yeah.
let's
I
just
think
drive it till the wheels fall off.
it's quite
sort of thing.
evident that the whole Evo economy is going to be like such a the mainstream way of improving your team in the non too distant future. Maybe not in FC 25, but in 26, 27.
It's
We saw
definitely
news
way
in this
ahead.
last week about the EU apparently planning to ban alternative in-game currencies. And I think once they do that, that's such a big chunk of EA's key markets that have been taken away from them that the whole pack model is just slowly going to go away, and we're going to go like full Evo. All the promos will be based around Evos. There won't be so many like impact cards to get anymore. This will be the way forward now, and I think people will be okay with it because they know what they're getting for the most part.
Yeah, I think they're
It's-
slowly, definitely transitioning that way. I think it's a few years out for sure because I think they're gonna have to figure out a way. Because I mean, there's so many cards that go into Evos and are through promo teams that they're gonna have to find a way to get those out and available somehow. Without somehow having packs. I don't know what course of action they would do to do that, but that's how they introduce all the cards we're seeing. So that's a huge economy change.
Speaking of economy, I have a trading question. Maybe the people can benefit from this, but I'm on PC market, so it's kind of a niche market. But I'm seeing 85s to 87 informs listed at 11.5. Is that a buy? Surely that's a buy.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. I
There's-
mean,
there's so
they
much-
went up
there's
to like
little risk
15K last week. They did pretty good last week. It just depends like what the Tuesday gambling SBC is. They've been doing the Tuesday pretty regularly as the gambling SBC, but there's no risk in it. Or if you want like a little bit of a better play, like the 89 informs right now are the same price as 89 golds, and they're used in Hullet squads. So they're gonna leave packs on Wednesday. So it's pretty much free coins for sure. Like for sure.
I'm a trading genius.
Yeah, that's just free
There you
coins
go.
because they're used in the Hullet squads I saw. I think like 3 of them. So they're going to go out of packs and still be used in those solutions. And a lot of people are going to complete Hullet on Thursday after Rivals rewards. They take those packs. So they should fodder. Like if you want another easy investment, invest in 92s on Wednesday night. I guarantee they rise like 8 to 10K on Thursday.
Yeah, I think
Nice.
there's a lot of people who've started that thinking, oh, I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to be able to do this. And they've sent the whole club. They've sent all the coins. So now they're just sat there playing and waiting for rewards to come to be able to
I can't wait
do
for
half
every rivals
do
game.
half a
is
92 rated, 91 rated
Zidane.
squad.
Hullet, Maradona.
How much are 91s and 92s at the moment? I haven't looked.
I know 92s were sitting at like have been sitting at like 80K this week, which is so crazy.
Yeah, that is wild. I had quite a few just thrown on my transfer list, like Dunn, who'd been there a while, and who else did we have? Oh, that Sunset, Fantasy 90 rated, and they all just started vanishing, and I was like, man, these. So it just shows, doesn't it, how many people are doing this, that the prices of that fodder's just gone absolutely mental. But has anyone seen this Hullet yet? Like, played against him,
But yeah.
Mhm.
Twice.
I've not seen him once in Weekend League. I've played my Weekend League mostly yesterday and a bit today, but not seen him.
I've seen him a few times in Rivals.
He's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. He's
But
no
seriously,
Yaya, is he? Do you know what I
Lobotka
mean?
just
But
shuts
I don't
him
know.
down.
he's no Yaya Toure, but anyway, let's move on. Going back to Evos, this Roma lot, Matt, I can see that some of them are probably right up your street. Which ones have you done?
None of them.
That is so.
If they'd put those out at the beginning of the game earlier on, I would have been super interested. But I'm just okay in all those positions. I'm not interested in doing them, and I'm certainly not paying the big bucks to get like the mega super duper versions of them. So I'm going to skip.
Jake?
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking about doing like pretty much one for nostalgia. I mean, I didn't expect them to come with that 150K price tag, to be honest. That seemed kind of random, I guess, considering that they gave us the Zidane and Maradona for what they gave us for. Like, honestly, those cards, like the initial Evo, that I think it gets them to 90 rated. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they're behind the curve, sadly, at this point for 150K a pop, which really sucks. So they should have done it for free, in my opinion, or buffed them a little bit more. But honestly, what really killed that, in my opinion, is just the leaks, because that has been announced now for much longer than a month, and people hyped it up and retweeted things and said they were coming, and then they're not coming, and then they're coming again. And it's like, if this was a situation, and I'm not someone who's like the most anti-leaks, I don't prefer them at all, but this was a situation where I really do think they killed it, because if those cards dropped and Twitter exploded the same day, you would have seen completion, just because like, oh my gosh, who remembers these cards? But because that went on for a month, it really lost its propaganda and hype. And it was
couldn't
kind of
agree more.
discouraging, because it was like such a cool idea from EA that sadly like our own community kind of ruined in a way. And I do think our community is to blame for that partially, but then it's also EA, because I don't know, like there's like 5 leakers right now that are very consistently, I think, just data mining and just getting the information all the time. So it's like, if that many people have access to the information, it's got to be something on EA to point to and say like, this is way too easily accessible.
Yeah.
However they're getting it, it's just too easy.
Yeah, it just got boring eventually. Like I didn't really have any nostalgia to these cards anyway. But when they did eventually come, I was like, all right, whatever. Oh, and there's better versions that I can go buy from the market. Oh, great. It just didn't play out well, did it? But like you say, if that had just turned up randomly on a Thursday night, and then here we are, these cards, there'd have been some real hype there. Everyone would have been talking about it, and it'd have been great.
It just came a bit too late, that's all. But
Yeah.
it's a nice idea, though. It strikes a debate as to, I think we mentioned it last week, Paul, as to how much can it open up the doors to bring in, lapsed players back into the database from previous years. These guys are probably a little bit too old for some people playing the game now. They haven't been in the game for like 6, 7, 8 years, some of these cards. But it would be fun to dip into the past and bring back players of yore that, really give the nostalgia hit. Or, they're going to have issues when players like CR7 and Messi retire, because people just want to play with those cards always. And they're going to have to find a way or an excuse to bring them back into the game even when they retire from playing full-time professional, right? So if there's a benefit to be had from all this, it's hopefully we'll see more of this stuff. I just think it needs to come a bit earlier in the cycle to be more meaningful than this particular trio, which were cool, but too late, too expensive, as Jake said.
Did you guys see that they announced some more heroes for 26? Just like yesterday? Mandzukic, Fellaini.
Yeah.
That's
is
so
all me, by
funny
the
to
way,
me.
Jake.
These are some really obscure ones this batch. Cambiaso,
No.
Fabregas, Barzagli.
Collar,
Carrick.
Carrick will be all right, I think.
I was happy
Isn't
to
that-
see Fabregas.
Isn't that a little
Yep.
funny? I feel like they're going so random here and just like
There's
picking
a lot of like
legends.
aerial attackers in that list.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder what they're doing with gameplay for next year because Fellaini's a central midfielder, but he spent a lot of his career playing up front as a target man. Mandzukic, brilliant in the air, target man. Jan Koller, one of the best aerial strikers that's ever lived, about 6'8" tall. It makes me think gameplay is going to change a lot next year, at least initially, to facilitate cars of that nature. Otherwise, they're going to fall flat on their face if they don't, because they'd be pretty useless in this year's game. But I'm excited. That's right up my street.
Yeah.
Those ones. I'm very, very interested to see what they'll be like.
I'm always up for new cards coming. Just adds Fabregas could be amazing. It'll be one that a lot of people are hyped about. Let's hope that let's just hope that they bring them and they're usable. What we don't need is more cards that are just going to be fodder at some point. So let's hope that they're somewhat usable. SBCs. What we're saying about SBCs? Have you been doing any?
I've been doing my upgrades.
Did you do any? Did anyone do any of the E-Prem ones?
No.
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 Did you watch the E-Prem? Anyone?
No.
Nada. Nope.
Oh,
Wow.
I think we've
tough
talked about that
crowd.
before. They need to
They
Figure
could
out
offer me a free base hullet and I still wouldn't watch it.
figure out something different from the pro scene.
It's so boring. dude.
Yeah, it is quite boring. Yeah, I like watching it just to see what sort of cards people are using. I saw that they were using some of those. Ibarbo were being used a little bit, and being a bit of a destroyer down the right hand side. But yeah, it were boring. I say I watched it. I had it on when I was cooking dinner yesterday.
You did it for the rewards, didn't you?
I couldn't tell you who won. Oh, well, I'm not fucking watching it for fun, am I? Do you know what I mean? It's
Dude, just one time, I want them to do one without an incentive to watch and just see what the numbers look
yeah, it's Sunday night. Let's sit down with our lass and watch fucking E-Prem.
like. Ooh.
No, we watched it for rewards, and they weren't that great either. Well, that rewards for yesterday's, but it's something in it, you know. I'm just a bit of a nerd, maybe.
I've been doing those super silver SBCs. They're quite handy for restocking your silver stock, where you get like 11 silvers for the price of one, basically, and you can do them like more than 10 times.
Oh, there's no excuse for not having your club stocked up, is there? With golds at the moment, they've given us something every day just to keep ticking away if you can be bothered.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's quite the grind in itself. Like, my clubs, I'm full of all the high rated stuff, but I've got nothing between like 80 to 83 at the minute, because I'm trying to save all those high tier stuff. So it's a real pain for me at the moment.
I think you just need to do all it, man.
I'm not doing it, mate. I'd rather do Koa and Milani.
Well, there's worse SPCs out there. Anyway, let's look at Dream Chasers.
Dream catchers.
This might be the most confusing promo of the
I actually
year.
really like that.
I like that. This might be the most confusing promo of the year because these are not live cards.
Hmm. People need to
People
realize
are-
that because there's a lot of people who think they are.
People are definitely going to treat them like live cards.
Yeah.
Definitely
They
gonna
look a
treat
lot
them
like the
live
live ones.
Hang on,
cards.
they're UCL, but they're not live.
They're not live.
See?
But,
Including like all the green and orange ones.
Yeah.
All of them.
But the
I've been
SBCs that
buying
are
them.
coming out during this promo and the objectives, I think, are live. So just so there's no confusion,
Wait. How do you tell the difference?
you just have to hope
Oh my fucking god!
that you've. The different
The liveness
designs
is
out there.
dynamic.
The different designs out there, but it is just something that is just going to annoy somebody. Like, if we're all pretty like switched on when it comes to this game, or moderately
Allegedly.
switched on, some of us, But we're confused by this. And like I say, just to make it even more confusing, some of the SBCs that are coming out are actually Road to the Finals. But there is some nice cards here. That Gray from Tottenham, he's
He's a
supposed
pain
to
in
be
the ass.
he's supposed to be a really, really good card. I just packed him today, but I hadn't used him. I just think, as always, the selection just could be a little bit better, couldn't it? Have we used any?
His footbin page, he's only 6'2", but he seems bigger than that in game. Like he's like Hullet-esque massive.
That's what our last says to me.
Wee.
I just think these cards are actually decent, like looking through the team, but they're getting so overshadowed by the Hullet and the Evos that this promo is like forgotten about.
Yeah. That Kane card looks insane. He's halved in price, but
it's a strange one to do Wanyeri after just doing his like Future Stars gig. As well, those two cards are very similar than the fully evoed Future Stars card we had a few weeks ago.
Yeah. I think they realised how popular he was, probably, because he seemed to be one of the most popular ones, didn't he? And then they've put him back out there. Laurent is always a fan favourite. Wirtz will be great. But yeah, nothing too exciting. But they seem to be hard to pack. Even like the shit ones, I've not packed many of them. I think I might have packed 3 of them all weekend. I just got that
They don't want to
Bajrami.
give away that sweet Hullet fodder, do they?
Well, last week, like, pinks were popping up left and right, weren't they? But these are a lot harder to pack.
Tell you who's not hard to pack. Odegaard and Hegerberg. I'm so tired of packing those motherfuckers.
Oh,
I just counted a while ago. I have 8 Odegaards and 7 Hegerbergs in my storage list.
I have a feeling that Matt has got 30 of each.
No, I'm actually quite good at relieving
Yourself.
when I've got about to walk into a trap here. When I get too many of the same card, I make sure that I find an SBC to put them in, because when I get to doing a big SBC, obviously I can only put 1 of each in each team. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to only have 1 or 2 of each card, but I do have a few like Hegerbers, Stegens, etc. Yeah, they're a problem.
Yeah. Anybody that the guys you talked to, Jake, are saying out of this team that are standing out, that are on like maybe the cheaper side?
Honestly, the only one that I was like really interested in personally and that I heard good things about, was that Raul. But like I said, he's getting overshadowed, right? Because that like PS Plus combo was supposed to be the first of its kind, because he has the finesse, low driven, and quick step.
Yeah.
But now everyone's making their 500k dudes have them. So that's honestly, it makes sense why they're overshadowing them, because he's a million coins. I think you can get very similar stats and 5-star, 5-star with that Suarez SBC for half the price. Like he's 150k SBC, and then you can tack on the 500k Evo on him. So yeah, it's just really weird with pacing and then evolutions and SBCs, and that's just to me why I think that again, that Hullet was a good one. People just want SBCs that are going to be in their team that feel real good completing. I think so many people have done cards like Adeyemi, and he's a good card. I've used him. But people are doing them because they just can do them, I think. But no one's was that excited about SBCs for a while. So I like these big boys when they're releasing like 3 to 7 million coin SBCs. I hope that continues, and I hope it gives people opportunity to add a player to their team, even if it's a couple weeks of grinding it. I think that's the intention. Instead of just being like, oh, I could do DaCosta or Adeyemi because they're not that expensive, so why not? But like, I feel like that's what it's been this year a lot with SBCs, whether it be that Dembele. Honestly, like even that Suarez before the SBC came out, like he's a good card. He's super hard to link. CR7, like I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people aren't that excited about what they're doing.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think when it comes to SBCs, I'm excited about Yaya because I love his cards, but the rest of them, not that excited about. I was watching a stream actually on maybe Saturday. I think Connor Wolf, and he were using that role, and he absolutely loved him. Just said his movement were phenomenal, and yeah, scored loads of goals over the course of a weekend league. Really nice card. Like I say, it's just one of many now.
I do like Raoul cards on this game in general. They're a bit unique.
Yeah, and I think he probably suits this game at the moment as well, doesn't he?
Forwards with good passing, in addition to their obviously danger at finishing, a premium in this game for good link-up play and whatnot, and Raoul's definitely one of those, for sure, given that he can play cam as well.
Yeah.
The more of those you got in the club, the better, for sure.
I am hearing lots of people talking, saying, team of the season's only around the corner, and these cards aren't going to be this, and this card's not going to be that when team of the season comes. But when team of the season comes, it takes a little while, doesn't it, to get rolling? Do you know what I mean? It takes a little while before people start having lots of team of the seasons in the... so we're quite a few weeks away, aren't we, before we're sort of in the thick of it and everybody's using full team of the season teams or even half team of the season teams. And I imagine a lot of these team of the season cards, the average ones, will only be similar to what people have already got now.
I would think so. Yeah.
Because
it's going to be feast or famine. Either going to have to be super million coins or it's going to be shitters.
Yeah. Where does it go from here?
4 playstyle pluses, 5 playstyle pluses.
Yeah, yeah. I imagine we'll get Evos like the one like the Strike Force, but just for other positions throughout team of the season.
Gameplay is going to get weird.
Yes.
Yeah, it will be kind of interesting to see. That was one thing I did want to mention too, is like with the low driven edition, it's kind of honestly like a good thing, because I think people complain a lot that like, oh, EA stopped caring about this game because they're working on next game, you know? That's been like a complaint or a theory across the years, but it's like they just added in a whole new PS Plus in March. So they're clearly still refining the current version rather than working on like 26 or whatever.
Testing.
Yeah, and it'll be really, really interesting, like you said, because it's like once we start getting these footies and team of the season cards that are maxed out, I want to see what the game actually feels like. Like, what is it capable of with 4 or 5 PS pluses and 90 plus stats? Like, how good can it feel? And then that's just telling about the game or the servers, right? Because if the game doesn't feel good and smooth at that point when you have stats maxed out, then
watch
all
the
I have to say
servers
is they got to
magically
invest
get
into
better
servers.
when team of the season starts.
Matt's excited for these cards. I can see it in his eyes. Look.
No, I don't want to be like a party pooper or anything. I enjoy team of the season as much as anybody, but I feel like we've already gotten to that point much sooner than we have in previous years. So you can't give too many cards much higher than what they're currently at. Most cards that come out have like several traits over 90, so all you can do is slap more play styles on. And the game gets really boring when everyone's just got like 90 plus pace, because pace then ceases to be important, right? For the most part. That's always it. But that happens every year, and it won't necessarily happen at the beginning of team of the season, but by the end, and certainly by whatever comes after that, everyone's going to have like mega fast teams, and then you're really struggling to find those unique traits in players and in squads to diversify gameplay. But I'm not poo-pooing team of the season at all. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I was chatting with the pro player, Matt, and to like what you said about like not having room to progress. I guess at events there's like a consensus that they've talked that they want the starting point of the game to be 85 rated with no PS Plus. That's like what pros have suggested, because they agree. And they want to just see so much more room for growth, which honestly, I've debated that before as well, but that's honestly even more extreme than I thought. Like 85 is pretty low, and then no PS Plus just gives them room to add on. So they're basically saying like, start with the most raw version possible, which is interesting to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I don't know if 85's the call, but there definitely needs to be more of a buffer for those like stat boosts that come in. And how do you generate hype without slapping absolutely massive stat boosts on cards? But if they're already very high, you were just dangerously uplifting the curve far too quickly. And then when you get to team of the season, there's not much left, not much more meat on the bone. So yeah, I can kind of see where they're coming from. I personally like the game at the beginning more than any other time of the year, when it is a bit more raw and people have to be a bit more thoughtful about their squad building, and you get to see excuse me, how good a player is because they're not being carried by like stat laden cards. Like there's the utopia almost of that everyone's almost on the same playing field. I know some people will go ham on packs on day one, ready for the first weekend league, etc. But generally speaking, we're all on gold cards with the odd inform, and it's a lot closer than it is at any other stage of the season, I think, and that's my favourite time to play the game. So yeah, if they want to do something where they open up a bit of a gap there at the start, I'm all for it.
I can't wait till that bit's over and my team can start carrying me a little bit.
You just want your first yeah, and then you're taken care of, right?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
But it goes back to what we said over the last few weeks, and during team of the year, it just got away from him, didn't it? At team of the year, like everybody just got insane teams
started
real
doing that
quick.
Avalanche Evo, and then whatever one it was that gave everyone free play styles. It's probably been good for most people ever since, and we're only just getting round to free play styles now.
Yeah,
they created a big problem for themselves to get a short-term hit on revenue. I think they milked the cow pretty hard during team of the year because they absolutely desperately needed the quality growth, unfortunately.
And the unlimited upgrade grind, so everybody were packing team of the years. It just got out of hand, didn't it, real quick? And we said then, like, it's going to be real interesting how they manage that over the next few months. And I think from where they were, I think they've managed it okay. Like but then again, they've got a fight on their hands now, haven't they, to see where we go from here. Because you look at people's teams, even just Evos, and like you say, the stats are already 90s absolutely everywhere with two really good play styles. So we'll see, won't we? What else you want to talk about before we go to bed? I'm old. This is way past my bedtime.
No.
I think we covered it.
Are we done?
I'm going to go eat.
Right, boys? Jake, where can people find you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm most definitely interactive on Twitter, so just Jake _ foot trading should be it. I chat a lot on there, post a lot of evos, talk about some trading.
Yeah.
I like to interact on there the most.
Any room in your Patreon if people are interested in learning how to trade?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great time to learn how to trade, and honestly, it's just like something that is so worthwhile because once you understand trading and understand like the few key components of it, like you can make millions on your own each year. So it's like a perfect time to start learning, especially with evos and having to adapt to them. And it's been really successful and profitable, and it's just cool. It's just cool because people are learning how to do it and buying whatever team they want without feeling the need to spend as much on points, and that's always the goal.
Yeah, and I think it is important in it now, especially even if you don't want to buy packs or anything, like the cost of these evos. If you don't want to spend money, learning how to trade's the way to go.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
If Hunter can do it.
I joined Jake's Patreon for a month and I made $2 million. So if I can do it, anybody can do it.
It's worth it. It is. It's just worth it to get the skills, get them down, and you're good to go.
Let me tell you, that is like a fucking Christmas miracle. No offense, Hunter.
Fuck you.
But that is like.
Just end the show.
Yeah, we'll
Fucking
end
dick.
it there. We'll end it there. Right, guys. Thank you very much for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Later.
Cheers, boys. In a busy.
Bye, guys.